Welcome everyone. So this is the second episode of the SaaS marketing series. If you missed the first one, we will be releasing that one very shortly. In terms of structure, so today we are talking about SEO, and we have Aman, our head of growth, presenting the majority of the slides, and then we have George here as well, who is our head of clients with 10 plus years of experience in SEO. He will be covering the Q&A section. In 2 weeks, we have a session with the head of origination of SaaS Group, which is one of the largest SaaS aggregators, on how to plan for an exit, what kind of metrics you want to hit, what kind of churn you need to have to really be fit for an acquisition. And then 3 more webinars after that, from digital PR to email marketing in SaaS, and then George finishing the series off with really focus webinar on backlinks. So if you haven't heard about us, who are we? We are 3 years old, but are one of the fastest growing SaaS SEO and PPC agencies globally. We've been growing 50% year on year. Worked with more than 60 companies now, a big chunk of them SaaS. We won various awards, including the best B2B SEO agency in the UK in 2022. We were in the finals at the Drum Awards last year, which is kind of the Oscars in the marketing space. So before we start the session, as always, a small poll just to learn also, like, how did you actually hear about us? So please, yeah, put your choice in, and then Aman will read out the results as well.
Thank you, guys. Really helps me do my marketing in short. So for everyone that's joined, I can give you some numbers. We're looking at around 40% from LinkedIn ads, 20% from email, a few from VC introductions, and a few from referrals/friends. So awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Let me just save that down. Cool.
Right. So in terms of our backgrounds, Aman, Imperial College, master's, did investment banking, then worked for a SaaS company in fintech, and then spent 4 years with us, basically helping us become the largest CBD marketplace in Europe, and then launching and scaling Neoptima now. We also own another brand we acquired, which we scaled 5x, and Aman also did a big chunk on that. George joined us 6 months ago and ran an Austin-based marketing agency, both on the SEO and the PPC side of things, focused on SaaS. And myself, I spent 10 years in investment banking and private equity, and then 4 years ago, raised capital to basically build out that kind of holding company. All right, so, and then before I pass it over to Aman, the agenda for today is SEO the right channel for you? The number one MRR growth strategy, converting traffic. So obviously the way we win awards is not about just showing a lot of traffic, but it's actually attributable revenue. And that's also like really important for you. How do you actually take all the traffic and how do you convert it? And then finally, what does actually SEO growth look like? And then obviously Q&A at the end as well. So Aman, I'll stop sharing now. You can.
Yep.
Sharing.
So that's the agenda, guys. I'll lead you through basically 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to chuck in questions as I go along. I actually can't see them, but if they're relevant, I'll open my chat up and I will check them out in the flow. So focus today, I'm going to focus on SaaS MRR growth, but I'm specifically going to focus on the content and the strategy aspect of it, and I'm not going to discuss link building. We're going to run a webinar in around 2 months on this with George, so you can get that information there, or I'm happy to forward you some information as well. Oh, and a heads up, we've ranked everyone that's on this call for SEO potential, and I will reveal this at the end of the call. Cool, so I don't want to do this poll yet, I'll come back to it. I firstly want to discuss that first all-important question. Should you consider SEO? Should you do SEO? And before this call, I was sitting down with Alexi trying to like work out how do we what is that mental mind map we go through when we speak to brands and we consider, hey, would SEO be a good channel for your business? And ultimately, we see there are 5 main factors that are pulling that decision-making process. And when these all align, firstly, you should invest in SEO. And secondly, your MRR actually grows as a result of it. But if these 5 factors don't align, what happens is you end up investing for, say, 12 months into a long-term growth channel. You don't see results, and then 12 months down the line, you're forced to have to make weird choices or unintended choices because you've lost that revenue or that income. So the factors that affect your performance are category adoption, keyword search volume, competitor authority, your authority, and the budget and willingness to invest. So let's work through this flow chart together, and I'm going to explain in a bit of detail why it flows this way. So the first thing you need to know about SEO is that it's a demand capture channel, not a demand generation channel. Now, what that means is if people don't even know your product category exists, you're instantly going to have to change strategy. So if you are selling an AI solution for something that's completely new in the market that no one's ever done before, you're probably going to struggle a little bit with SEO because no one's even Googling that term. And so then when that happens, you need to think a bit more intelligently about how you're going to find that customer. So on the first level, do people know your product category exists? If they do, that's great. You're going to have product categories keyword search volume. So people know that CRMs exist. Therefore, there are always going to be a bunch of CRM keywords at play. But if people don't know that CRMs exist, you're going to have to do a different strategy. So firstly, your product category has to exist. If it doesn't, you will then have to go to pain point keywords. Okay, so what do I mean by this? If you sell a new and innovative water, okay, this water is like specially ionized, it's got some funky materials to it, and it helps people reduce bloating for whatever reason. No one's ever Googling bloating water or like anti-bloating water. There's no chance. But people are Googling how to solve bloating or how to reduce bloating. You can plug your product in that type of keyword. And so SEO can still work. So if you solve a pain point or your product category exists, SEO is possible. The next stage is competition. Do you have competitors investing in SEO? Yes or no? Now, this is interesting. If you have competitors investing heavily into SEO, it can impact your decision-making if you should invest in SEO too. Think of it this way. You're in a race and you have a Usain Bolt who's 200 meters ahead of you. You're never going to catch up to him. And this is the scenario when you have a competitor like Wikipedia or the BBC or Fox News. You're never going to catch up to them. You're always going to be behind. But if on some sort of level, that competitor is only a couple hundred meters, maybe like 20, 30 meters ahead of you, there is a very good opportunity for you to win in that field. If you're able to focus, if you're able to have an investive or innovative strategy. So the next level of thinking we do is, okay, let's look at the competition. And based on a bunch of SEO criteria, can we catch up to them or not? If they don't exist, even better, but most likely in 90% of scenarios, some sort of competitor exists. So let's assume, the search volume, the competition exists, but they're only a little bit ahead of you, or they're not really doing what you do. The next question is, do you have the budget to play this game? Now, SEO is one of these channels where you're just not going to see ROI instantaneously unless you've played this before. So if you're completely new to SEO, you're going to have to invest upfront and treat it like a CapEx for 3 to 6 months before you even begin to see payback. You will see leading indicators, i.e. you will see stuff going up. You will see traffic coming in. You might even see form fills, but you're not going to see revenue ultimately straight away. Now, if you're willing to invest and you're willing to play that game and you want to have higher rate of return, invest in SEO. It's like buying a house. If you want to, own that house and you want to pay on that mortgage and buy the house, if you don't have that budget right now, you can just rent instead. And you can rent that top position from Google or rent your house for a much smaller price, but ultimately cost you more in the long run. So that's the general flow that exists. I'm now going to answer a quick question in the chat, which is, I want to understand who is investing in SEO. I'm just looking for the poll feature.
Well, while you're searching, I can answer this really interesting question by Jeff. What's the best way to answer some of these more empirical questions? Well, that's where you can use certain tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush, or just ping us and we basically send you a quick overview what your competitors do. But in short, you can look at if your competitors invest in it by just Googling, for example, a question and then see if your competitors come up. If you go to one of these tools, you can then actually see how strong is their domain in terms of authority and how much content they do, for example, every month for the last 6 months and how many backlinks they have. And I think we cover all of that throughout this webinar now. But you basically, there are various, for each step, maybe Aman, like address it in a second on the slide. What would you do to actually test it?
Cool, sweet. So while I'm going to do that, I found the question. Thanks for the polls. I just want to know who's investing in SEO in this group right now. So are you investing in SEO, yes or no? 60% are investing in SEO and 40% are not. So it leads me to wonder that you're looking to eke out some extra gains. So let's definitely think about that. Cool. All right, so I'm going to go back to share screen and we can talk about the empirical. How do you know your product category exists? Well, you probably know this from just search your product category keyword on a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush. If you're investing in SEO, you probably know those tools. Does your product category have search volume? Again, check the search volume. Then if you want to check pain point keywords, just understand what those pain points of your customer are. And again, search them in Google, see if there are searches, are people appearing for it? Then if you want to check those SEO specific metrics for competitors, you want to look at domain rating, traffic analytics. This again, you have to invest in a tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs. You look at every competitor and what they're doing. You'll also link at their link profile. This is probably an extension of what we would do on this call, but you need someone with an SEO brain to basically have a look at it and see how far are they along that journey. And then you need someone to basically forecast out your SEO. Again, it generally needs to be someone that's been there, done that. And the only reason is because it's ultimately like a pattern matching model they have in their brain. So when myself, Alexi, George, we look at problems, we've seen so many SEO cases, you're able to have a rough idea. And we're effectively using this flowchart in our brains, but it just happens at a different pace.
Just actually one point, one quick hack maybe also, if you see your competitors running Google ads on search, you almost assume that there is search volume for that. And then you just need to ask yourself, do you want to run PPC or do you want to invest in content and basically be organically top instead of paying Google for the ads?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a few, like, let's say heuristic proxies for search volume if you don't have those tools. You can also go into Google Ads Manager and look at the keyword planner for free, and that shows you a lot of search volumes. Cool. Next question. What type of businesses do you guys run? And the reason why I ask is because it will now change how I approach the next section. So are you B2B SaaS? Are you B2C SaaS? Or are you a consultancy or agency? That's also fine. Or are you an investor? It's always good to see investors on the call. Cool. So we have 20% B2C SaaS, let's say 70% B2B SaaS, and the remaining other are between consultancies, agencies, and investors. And the numbers don't add up to 100 because it's multiple choice. All good. Cool. So this is why this is a bit different. If you want to grow your MRR with SEO, there ultimately is, for like 99% of businesses, there's only one real strategy. And that's bottom funnel traffic. So there's some really interesting data on the right-hand side. And it's data from Grow and Convert. And they looked at all the top funnel posts they wrote. So these are posts that are designed to get lots of traffic. And they looked at all the bottom funnel posts they wrote. So these are designed to bring leads in, and they are very pain point focused. And they found this really stark difference. And this has pretty much been confirmed by anyone doing SEO, is that your top funnel posts bring in all your traffic. So for our website example, we think we had like 20,000 search volume at one point. 19,000 was top funnel. Like ultimately not doing anything for revenue in the grand scheme of things. And then there was a handful of pages that just brought in all our leads, and they were all the conversions. And we can see this consistently from B2B SaaS to B2B SaaS throughout that whole journey. So the number one rule is if you want to grow MRR, you need to have laser focus on the type of content that drives leads, MQLs, SQLs, revenue. And you need to be very careful to avoid the vanity metric, which is traffic. And you're going to see this idea in literally all forms of marketing, whether you're on social media and you're doing Instagram, or you're on LinkedIn and you're writing posts and you're getting impressions. Whatever gets you impressions generally doesn't get you leads, as a general rule of thumb. So again, how do you grow with MRR with SEO? It's 100% focus on bottom funnel traffic. So I'm going to ask a very quick question because I'm very curious if because there's a lot of people running SEO here. If you're investing in SEO, are you guys seeing conversions and leads? So yes, you invest in SEO and yes, you see conversions, or yes, I invest in SEO and no, I don't, or no, you're not investing in SEO. All right, so super interesting data. So let's say of everyone investing in SEO, around 2/3 of you see conversions, and then so 1/3 of you see conversions, and then 2/3 of you don't, which is a big difference. And I wonder if you guys are doing bottom funnel traffic or you haven't had enough time for it to even play through in the market. That's super interesting. Cool. So I'm going to talk to you about what is bottom funnel, what does it mean, what are the characteristics, and how do you approach that problem? So take any search term that you think is relevant to your industry and use this heuristic rule, which Alexi mentioned. Search the term, and there are a few things that you see. If you see lots of competitive advertising, such as LinkedIn's advertising on that keyword, Expandiers, Lemlist, Vidyard, firstly, there's going to be a ridiculously high cost per click, i.e. the cost to advertise will be very high on these keywords. Generally, you're going to see everyone mentioning their product pretty openly. They're not going to try to obfuscate it with a blog post. So everyone literally saying, look at my sales prospecting tool, try Lemlist, try me, try the number one tool. So bottom funnel posts generally say the brand name quite clearly. They're making promises. They're wanting to do something, take some action, become a lead, do a free trial. And generally, you'll see a lot of ads in that SERP or in that Google search result page. So do that exercise, take any bottom funnel idea, chuck it in, you'll see that straight away. And to evaluate if a bottom funnel post is even good in the first place, like you found some searches, you think this is a pain point, focus point, or this is a category search keyword, ask yourself this very important question. Is your product crucial to answering the topic? And the degree to which this is true answers how bottom funnel it is. So if, for example, you sold a CRM for real estate, if you searched how to track real estate leads, your product as a CRM is literally crucial to answering that topic. So therefore, this is a bottom funnel post. If the topic instead was real estate database, I mean, a CRM is kind of useful. It tracks leads, but kind of not. So that's less of a bottom funnel post. So when people give you rules of bottom funnel, top funnel, this is a very easy question to ask yourself, and it plays a very good proxy in if it plays or not. Other data points you can take are you can look at Google Keyword Planner or Ahrefs or SEMrush. If the cost per click of the keyword is relatively high, it means lots of people are bidding on it, and therefore other people are making money. And if they're making money, it means they're making revenue, and therefore it's bottom funnel. So the cost per click is a really good indicator. Almost whenever I look at any batch of keywords, I look at search volume and cost per click. And if it's low search volume, high cost per click, generally it's bottom funnel. Secondly, I'm looking at usage of words. If the search term has how to, software, tool, or a competitor name, also a very good indicator that it's bottom funnel. So if we go back here to, what was it? Best LinkedIn outreach tool. Outreach tool is the main keyword that indicates it's bottom funnel. There's competitor names in there. There's software in there. There's free. There's no credit card. There's those sort of keywords. And when you create bottom funnel content, you have really crazy scenarios where you just start generating leads. And it feels almost random. Like you'll wake up and you'll have like 5 leads in your Slack all fired out. And it's a really nice thing to wake up to. And then you'll find out, oh, hold on, they're all coming from a certain page. So this is a bunch of like feedback we've got where we had one of our clients go like, oh, can you make more of these pages? I'm like, are you seeing lead flow? And he's like, yeah, definitely. We're seeing loads of lead flow. Conversions going up, and it becomes very, very surprising and very, very fun at the same time. So now I'm going to give you this cheat sheet. Please feel free to screenshot it. You can give it to your marketing team. And this is a bottom funnel keyword cheat sheet generator, or whatever you want to call it. And I've taken conversion rates from across our clients for a bunch of keywords, and I've also laid it on with public data that I was able to access. So for example, I know that a post that goes best, and let's go to the bottom one over here, the third one, best X software. If I said best CRM software, if you're able to rank on that page and get traffic, you will convert around 6% of that traffic into a free trial or a lead. And then if you go higher up, if you just do product use case, for example, how to outreach on LinkedIn, it's going to get a much smaller conversion rate because the people Googling that are either not ready to buy a software or they are still in valuation mode and they're still trying to understand what solutions are. So you can use this model to very quickly work out good keywords that you should target to drive bottom funnel content, to drive MRR. So if you guys want to drop in, so Jeff said, is product use case considered top funnel? No, these are all bottom funnel keywords. Like 1% is still converting quite well. If we go back a little bit, a few slides to these benchmarks, like a bottom funnel post, like if this was aggregated across all these different types of keywords, maybe it converts at 0.5 to 1%, blended across loads of types of pages. But a top funnel post won't even convert at all. Maybe at best you get 0.1%. So 1% conversion is a very good result from any sort of keyword. So next step would be send in your examples and let's work out some bottom funnel topics together. So if you send your website in the chat, let's do some research together and let's work out what a good example would be or what a good content piece would be. Feel free to send your websites in, guys. Rhino apps, cool. We got Bounce Together, Clasher.com, Paris.ai. Maybe Alexi, George, maybe if you can go through these because they're coming in faster than I can look at them and then flag to me some good ones. You have 3 of us looking. Whoever gets the first one in goes. So maybe Alexi, you can do one and I can do one. Make it a bit fun.
Okay. Cool. Well, I guess like first of all, well done. Whoever, I forgot the name, but like it's pretty nice in terms of content. We obviously see that you dropped off in terms of content production, but it was working really well in terms of keywords. So this is basically recording a SaaS which records basically calls and meetings for companies. So meeting minutes.
It's like a competitor like Fireflies, Fathom.
Exactly. So this is, for example, bottom keyword, bottom funnel, how to record on Zoom, right? There are 4,400 searches per month. It's a really easy keyword to rank for, and you're on page 7 in Google. So you could actually do way, way better there. Record Google Meet, you're on page 2 on Google, so position 13. So each page has 10. 2,900. Again, very easy one to rank for. Transcription, etc. So I think basically it looks, so yeah, this is like a typical SaaS where you actually have a lot of people Googling how to XYZ, record Zoom, Google, whatever, meetings. And that's why there is quite a lot of traffic from that. The question I think here is probably a lot of that is not really super relevant traffic. And maybe also the question is like, how do you actually convert it after having all that traffic? But yeah, we can see some of your top pages being, this one, 29% of your traffic goes to access Zoom recordings. Would love to know how much of that do you actually convert in customers, right? Because that's sometimes the problem if you basically rank for certain keywords which are used by consumers who just want to know something rather than employers and businesses who need a tool to solve a certain problem. You might still rank for that keyword, but you might not get any customers. So maybe that's a problem. Again, not sure. But yeah, we could definitely see you did quite well in getting certain of your pages to rank, and obviously a lot of them here are basically structured as a blog post, which is SEO optimized, could be much better. For example, like an FAQ, or I think like also some of the headings. But yeah, no, that's cool. Maybe George, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, maybe I can jump in on this one. So Grain, like you haven't spoken about competitors at all. So you have Fathom, Fireflies. You can do Fathom versus Fireflies versus you.
Correct.
I'm sure there are better competitors that I just don't know in your industry, but you will have a whole host of competitor keywords to go after.
Yeah, I think wise.com does that a lot. So like they have pages
Yeah, they
where
do.
basically compare, Wise versus Revolut versus Payoneer. Okay, I can't like find it right now, but like, yeah, that's like a really common strategy for you to potentially do with you as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let me jump in and do one quickly because I found a very cool one. So the website I'm looking at is Salon IQ. So Salon IQ is a salon management software. So it looks like it helps you do your marketing, helps you manage your bookings. It looks like it takes payments. It's relatively cheap. So it's sold to SMBs. Pretty cool. So why I brought this up is because I actually had a call with Slick today. I was on a podcast. So Slick is another salon management software. So Slick, I guess they've got
More for barber shops. And by the way, on our podcast, yeah, so SaaS Minds, yeah, check it out on Spotify.
yeah. So definitely listen to this one. Been a really good conversation. So kind of similar, target audience. So who would you target as bottom funnel? So if I look at your SEO, so we're using Ahrefs here, saloniq.com. I look at what are the top pages ranking. And of course, there's a bunch of branded traffic, which is cool. So people trust you. Then there's what's an awesome key, which I very highly rate, is their ranking for salon marketing software. So that's like a really good bottom funnel keyword you're ranking for. Now, I'm sure there are a bunch of other feature pages that could be ranking. So if we look at all your feature pages, and generally speaking, these are great examples of bottom funnel keywords. So every SaaS tool has a sort of a feature section. So enterprise salon software, awesome, ranking number one. Salon software with payroll, there's opportunity there to grow. But again, for Salon IQ, you have all your competitors you can speak about and why you're better than, I don't know, Slick and all the other people that exist in the market or are more relevant towards you. You also have like how to manage bookings, how to manage salon bookings, how to take salon payments online. Let's have a look. You have best salon software, top alternatives to best salon software for payroll. Like you have all these types of keywords. You have loads of opportunity there as well. And that's just the one saying the word salon software. So this is awesome and very cool. So you definitely have a lot more there from an SEO perspective, and you have some awesome logos. So you're an example of someone that's easily could compete with the competition and take first position in 3 to 6 months for even more keywords. Maybe we can look at George's one now.
So BridgeDoc, I got a fun one because we actually consulted a company that is similar to BridgeDoc. I can tell the website has been launched recently, or whatever the change was. The systems have picked it up as something that is launched in January 2024. Right now, the keyword strategy does need to be revisited as you are currently kind of in a blurry space with Google. So they are trying to figure out where to place you. The closest one will be Hot Doc from AU, from Australia, which is not going to be the type of audience that you want to be in front of. So my suggestion would be, apart from some, let's call them obvious technical improvements that are needed here in terms of the keyword strategy, I'm taking consideration construction management software. So construction management software is definitely going to be a hard keyword to be ranking for, especially with a new domain. So it's going to take us quite some time and work to actually get you to the first position of something of that nature. But as I understand from the website, you're actually trying to serve a specialist within that industry with streamlining document control. So here's a fun keyword to explore, document control. I actually narrowed down the search to construction document control. And this is speaking directly to your audience. Now, some of the bottom funnel keywords that you can also take into consideration would be, you're probably aware, since you are experienced in the industry, of specific documents that they're looking for. So management of that specific document or intricacies, that are involving that document, whatever you feel like you went through to, get that documentation in order, there's going to be the same pain points that your target audience is going to type into the Google. And when they do, just make sure to communicate your value. Like, we can help you save, days or months with document sorting, with streamlining management, etc. But for example, construction document control has very low keyword difficulty, and you do have 100 searches per month from people trying to figure out how to handle construction document control. And that would be a good example of a keyword to introduce. And we can dive into it more deeper. I think it's a really fun project, and I think it's a really good idea. We actually, as I said, consulted a similar company, and I'm sure we can hook you up with a free audit or something.
Yeah, that's a funky one. Cool.
Yep.
All right, so let me go back to sharing screen.
By the way, can I ask one question on how did you hear about us? The very first poll. Can everybody who said other share what that other was? Because there were actually quite a few others, and it would be really interesting for us to understand what that actually was. Where did you hear about us when it was other?
Cool. I'll let them write it in, and I'll continue. Cool. So you've successfully acquired a bunch of high intent traffic because you've spent the last couple of months doing these awesome keywords and chunking out a large amount of content. Now you have the high intent traffic, and you're like, cool, I need to grow my MRR. What's going on? And to grow MRR, you need a lot more than high intent traffic. You need to convert it. And how you convert it is you need to use offers. So offers are things that get people to take the next step in that journey. And typically, the offers you usually see with SaaS companies is, here's your 7-day free trial. You can get a lot more inventive. You can give away free templates. So the HubSpot game, if you go on any HubSpot blog, they'll be giving you a free template of something. Trials, book in a demo if you're more B2B and you don't want to be self-serve. Or if you are some sort of self-serve and you have a demo that you can show off, you can use Novatic and you can show an interactive demo. You need to be continuously testing offers to your high traffic pages because some offers work better than others. I've ran many different types of offers and lead magnets on a high intent page and found the things that I was surprised to get conversions, get conversions. And if your offer converts, it's an indication that the traffic is high intent. So if you put a bottom funnel offer in, so, make them take some sort of action which is related to your product. So the bottom 3 are good examples of that. If that gets some sort of interaction or it converts, it's indicating that the traffic coming in wants to hear about the bottom funnel offer. If you put these bottom funnel offers on a page that isn't high intent, you'll instantly hear crickets. You won't get any conversions whatsoever. And you'll know for a fact that the traffic coming in is low quality, and you actually haven't got a bottom funnel topic. And in some scenarios, you bid for a keyword on Google Ads, like we were bidding for a keyword which we thought was very bottom funnel, but turns out that the traffic quality was just trash. Because every lead magnet we put in front of them, that was almost offering them free stuff they weren't converting on. So, look for the conversion and look for the offer. We typically use stuff like opt-in monster and form fills and these sort of things just to get some sort of email collected in the back end so that we know if stuff's working or not. And I'm going to show you 4 different types of offers on landing pages so you have an idea of what that actually looks like. So first one, Can you guys see my EvaBoot screen? Yep, I think so. Cool.
Yes.
EvaBoot is like a SaaS tool that does LinkedIn outreach. So if I go to their homepage, maybe they are a LinkedIn Sales Navigator scraper. So you go to Sales Nav, they'll scrape some stuff, and you get some data out of it. So they have a page that's ranking for how much does LinkedIn Sales Navigator cost. So it's kind of related to what they sell, but it's pricing. Now, in this article, he reveals the pricing, gives it away, answers it, and then starts to sell. And it's really interesting the way he sells. Like, well, he goes, once you bought it, you need to know how to use it. Here's how you demo all the features, and it's straight into one of his videos. This is a form of an offer. It's like the next step of the funnel. It's like, okay, then you need to export your leads for free. So he's putting a button there. We've got more advanced pricing, how to use it for your team. That's cool. Education, more pricing. Here's how you use it. So like he's really trying to push that user, even though the user just wants pricing right now. He's making it very clear. You can come to me and I'll teach you everything you need to know. Call to action here. And on the right-hand side, he's got this whole bar which explains his 3 steps that he does. Now, I'm probably sure that this page is getting a lot of traffic. And he was like, it's not converting. Let me stuck in a bunch of CTAs. So he's got a lot of CTAs in here. And I hope they are converting because it is a relatively good topic. But this is an example of all the different types of offer you can go for. Try for free, export nabs, watch videos, take that next step on the journey. Another company is Triple Whale. Triple Whale are man, they're so hard to understand what they do. They're an e-commerce attribution and analytics tool. So they have like these dashboards that bring in your Shopify and your Facebook ads and whatnot. So they're ranking for a page called attribution modeling, which is kind of exactly what they do. And so there's a normal blog page, and it's not so well designed, let's say, but they begin to sell themselves by using screenshots from their tool. So this is really cool way of them effectively selling and making, let's say, mini offers by showing that their tool does exactly what you're Googling. They could be a bit more clear that this is from their tool, because that would help them get more sales. And then they go into triple attribution, what this is, why it's better, and eventually it's selling them. And then there are small CTAs throughout the blog and a few internal links too. So again, this is less obvious in terms of like, oh, here's some offers, but they eventually do try to sell through screenshots. Navatic is a interactive product demo tool. So if you go on a website and you have a demo, you can scroll in and you can click try a demo, and you can literally use the tool without having to create an account in your browser, which is super cool. So they have a page on 7 successful ABM campaigns. So this is kind of related to what they do, because ABM is, they sell to B2B SaaS companies, so it's kind of relevant. And the awesome thing is they do is as soon as they get into it and they give their blog, boom, this is what they do, interactive demos. So they're immediately linking out to their tool and what they offer as a mini offer in there. So I'm clicking interactive demos and I go, boom, 6 steps create an interactive demo. And it's now just going to sell Navatic in a very seamless way. And then, of course, they have ready to accelerate your go-to-market, get a demo. It's a listicle, you go down. Eventually, they'll have another call to action at the bottom somewhere here as well. And then finally, Jellyfish. This is a landing page. They could have just explained all their features and benefits, but boom, product tour, interactive demo. Really cool way to get the buyer journey moving along. And now they know if I'm Googling if I'm in this and I've done like, let's say 15 clicks, I've done like, let's say 5, 6, 7, 8 next clicks. I am genuinely interested in this tool now. I guarantee I've been pixeled. I'm going to get all the retargeting ads right now because I have clearly shown interest that I am a bottom funnel interactive person. And I'm going to give my email now to see what happens. So the key point is you've got high intent traffic. You need to be continuously testing offers and different offers throughout that journey to ensure that you are making some form of conversion on the back end and you're continuously testing your question. Cool. Alexi, do you want to go for it? I can stop
Yeah,
sharing.
awesome. Awesome. Yeah, let me share again. Yeah. Before I cover the remaining slides, very briefly, so Aman mentioned how we had the founder of Slick on the podcast. The episode will come out in probably like 3 weeks. We are interviewing the founder of Eva Boot actually next week. And yesterday I was interviewing the founder of Tiny Seed. For you guys who are from the US, it's the founder of Tiny Seed, the microconf SaaS community. So, and yeah, we have I think there are like 5 episodes here, but there are already 6. So yeah, please follow us, like us there, and of course, if you want to be on the podcast as well, we basically aim for 1 million plus ARR founders. So please, suggest your name on that podcast. I think we have only like speakers booked up for another like 4 or 5 weeks. So yeah, like it's a very high chance you get on the pod if you submit your name there. Cool. So to finish off the sprint here, in summary, why are we such big fans of SEO? And of course, then SEO with, for example, as Aman just mentioned, retargeting and maybe like a complementary PPC strategy. The fact is that you are seeing your traffic increase over time and your cost per lead, and of course, also therefore cost to CAC, your customer acquisition, decrease over time. So you basically have to invest initially quite a bit. You think it's a very expensive channel, but over the long term, it's actually the cheapest channel out there, much cheaper than, for example, PPC. If you kind of like take a, I don't know, 24 months period. A lot of you guys, like we obviously looked at some of the websites. We didn't manage to cover a lot of them on the call here, but it looks to me, like documentation, construction documentation tracking software and streamlining software, while there is very low, for example, search volume, it is actually really easy for you to rank for, that particular keyword. So there are a lot of really good like long tail keywords or more specific keywords where you can like really rank quickly, show that success to your investors, for example, and then basically say, look, we need more budget to invest more. That's why we're fundraise. And that's kind of like, one of the ways we also did it when we built, the marketplace in the past kind of like business. In terms of correlation between content and traffic, so 100% correlation there. HubSpot surveyed 7,000 B2C and B2B businesses and basically showed a clear correlation between the website pages, so number of blog posts, number of service pages, product pages, features, etc., and inbound traffic. So, and as you can see, there is usually, unfortunately, quite a bit of a delay, right? Similar, I mean, last week we covered YouTube as a growth channel, and it's the same story there. It does take 2-3 months to get that pickup of traffic, but then once that happens, you usually get really nice exponential growth. Cool. So I guess we have a few more minutes. We have something like on AI and like the ranking, but like just checking if there are any questions. Okay, question is 1 keyword equals 1 article or join multiple relay. So that's a good question. So no, 1 keyword does not equal 1 article. 1 article can result in 20, 30 different keywords being indexed. Usually how it works, if you draft a blog page, you want that blog page to address a certain search query in Google. So let's say, for example, taking in like the salon management software. So for example, a salon wants to improve the booking system, and so they will be Googling what is the best salon management software out there, right? And so your page could then list a bunch of different salon management softwares, like a listicle, but also like what makes a good software versus a bad software. And that article would then rank you for all the competitors you list on that page. It will also rank you for the benefits, for example, of the software, sorry, of the software, and yeah, what it is. So you might get, again, depending on the article, the quality, 10 to probably, I don't know what the maximum, George, you probably saw more pages than me in your life, but like, I don't know, like 50 keywords can be probably coming from one page if that's a really good page and it ranks well.
Yes. So, Sergey, what I would like to add is think about what you're trying to communicate to the user. So, what is the goal of the page? If you're trying to have document management for startups, then focus the page on that. If you want to have separate for small business, focus it on that. But even with those pages, you need to choose a parent topic. Basically, if you have a page that is dedicated for document for startups, within that page, you can introduce additional content, build a topic cluster out of it, and then develop additional resources. But long story short, a keyword strategy is much more complex than that. But if you do take care of the users and just keep in mind what is the goal of that page, you should be good. And then, of course, the right keyword strategy comes into play.
Okay, now on the ranking, I think we are like running out of time. So yeah, please reach out for your ranking if you kind of like want to learn more about what's your domain authority, how many keywords are you ranking for, how much traffic is there in your niche, how the other competitors are doing. And then I think like, what we'll cover probably on the next webinar now on backlinks, we might squeeze in like another webinar is, where does AI fit in? We actually did, check out our YouTube page, New Optima on YouTube. We did a webinar early December, which was actually super well attended to our surprise during literally just before Christmas. And we basically went through a way how you can leverage AI as well. Obviously, we're not suggesting that, you use ChatGPT to create blog posts here, but there are a lot of interesting ways how to create, for example, certain sections or figure out like the best examples, for example, for a certain topic you want to write about, or even like certain outlines, and then leveraging, your analytical tools, ChatGPT, and then obviously also like, for example, either an agency like us or like to help you basically create amazing content creation workflow where you can literally do much quicker work than in the past. Aman, George, we have 3 more minutes left. Anything else to add?
That's pretty much it. That's awesome. Yeah, you have us for 60 seconds. Drop your questions in, otherwise we can call it there. Sweet, cool, awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for attending. Really appreciate it. The next webinar is going to be in 2 weeks on how to exit your SaaS, and that's with Dirk, and then we can go through how that works. Jeff, yes, so we'll share that over DMs. So just drop us we'll send a message around, and you can just reply to us, and then we will get you some sort of audit over. Realize that probably people don't want all their secrets shared online. But awesome. Thank you so much, guys.